So as this is a new type of video, I thought I'd give context here. These thingy videos are going to be cut out periods of the stream where I talk on concepts or indeed theory. It could be new equipment setups, anything that I consider might be helpful for people to know and understand more about will be included in this series. So do enjoy. Well, happy day for the KV2. He finally got it. I'm sorry, how, when there's a Tiger 1 sat here, is a KV2 leisurely poking around that corner? What is going on? How... You're going to get shot by a Jackson and an AMX. How have you not killed everyone over here? You are a Tiger. You have a long 88mm gun with 203mm to pen and a rate of fire of 8. I think. Something like that. 8.22, maybe? Tiger! The AMX is shooting at everyone else. Just go in. Just go! Just do it! Stop waiting. Okay, let me lay this out for you, Tiger. If you wait, the best thing that can happen is he trades one shell and then reloads and kills you. You are both a 2-shot. You have a higher rate of fire. Go in, take the shot, trade 1 for 1, and then reload and kill him. If you engage at distance with a tank that has a longer reload than you, you are at a disadvantage because he is going to do higher alpha damage. You need to exploit his reload. Or you could just get AP shelled in the side like a colossal goit. My God. Oh no. Oh. Doggone it. So that was the Omnom tank. Hi Steve, I have a stock Cent 1. It's my first tier 9. Ah, congratulations, Fronter. What equipment do you recommend for this? I thought optics, armor, stabs. There was a lot of talk on the commander's vision system. Well, here's the thing. The Cent 1 has 410 meters base view range. So you can take that two ways. You can either say, okay, it's got really good base view range. I don't need to do a lot to have adequate view range. I don't need to use optics. I can use vents. Or you can go the other way. You can say, okay, I've got really good base view range. I can take stuff like optics to make it even better. So really, it depends on what you do. Are you an upfront brawler with the tank? Do you play it with the 105, or do you play it with one of the A barrel or B barrel guns? Because that does dramatically change the playstyle of the vehicle. If you play it with the Royal Ordnance cannon, you've got fantastic penetration and honestly fantastic output potential if you load the premium high explosive squash head ammunition. 210, 480 damage, and you've got the cheap HE as well, 105 for your light tanks. So you've got a lot of damage output potential, but if you engage heavies frontally with this thing, yeah, both because of the DPM and because you don't have any high pen premium, it can get difficult. What you really desire in the Cent 1 when you're using the 105mm gun is you want long, drawn-out engagements. Engagements on range lines or at distance where it goes on for a while. Because of the lack of DPM of this thing in comparison to something like a T-54 or something like that, you're going to have a hard time if the engagement turns into a brawl. If it's over quickly, you're not going to be able to pull out the same amount of damage. Whereas if you're playing with the A barrel or the B barrel gun, it's far more flexible in that regard. You can push the tempo, you can pressure the game state. So if you like to be aggressive, then play with the B barrel. Personally, I'd recommend the 105mm gun purely because the Centurion 7.1 is not a mobile tank. it shoots around at about 50 kilometers an hour, I think, after the buff. Let's see, speed. Yeah, 50 kilometers an hour. But it's not a tank that you'll be flanking people in. It's not zipping around the battlefield as a decent top speed in a straight line, but you're not going to be flanking people. And flanking people is where you want that rapid fire gun for targeting tracks and stuff like that. This is a ridgeline warrior, and being able to poke up, get that shot off with that high pen, high alpha damage, sure you can get it off. Yeah, I think the 105mm gun works well for this vehicle. As far as equipment goes, I recommend, what you got? You got a firepower slot. Oh no, a mobility slot. Okay, well in that case, swap out my vert stabs here, put an improved rotation mechanism on, that gives you 12.5% of vert stabs, and 12.5 to the traverse speed as well, which is really helpful for medium tank. So mount that here. Gun rammer, most definitely, if you're using basically either of those guns, it's just an indispensable piece of equipment. And your last equipment slot is entirely up to you. The commander's vision system is basically mathematically as good as having binos activated at all times. So yes, I would say that a commander's vision system is far better than coated optics, in my mind. So I recommend a improved rotation mechanism, a rammer, and commander's vision system. That would be my setup on the Cent 7-1. Well, Nescam, you've got to remember, it removes 10% of enemies' camera rating while they're moving. So in terms of being able to spot something, if something's moving, then generally it's not behind a bush line. So you get 10% negative camo. If it is behind a bush line, then you get 15% negative camo. So if something's stationary, it's likely to be behind a bush line, in which case commander's vision system is better than optics. If it's not behind a bush line, then it's probably moving or relocating, in which case you get exactly the same bonus as optics.
Let's get this show on the road.
So mathematically, shut up. I could be wrong, maybe I'm talking about my ass, but as far as I know, that is correct. Time. It's just
you should be dead, but
just
you know,
my self-esteem on that one. Hey! Calculated. Ow! Got him. Yeah, the Patriot, in my mind now, that I've done a bit more research on it, is probably the best money-making tank in the entire game. Because, Ian, I wasn't aware... Are you aware of how cheap the shell cost is on the Patriot and the Super Pershing? I'll give you a perspective, like, a regular 400 alpha damage shell is gonna cost you anywhere from, like, I think the minimum is 900 and the maximum is like 1.5. There's something that has 1.5. And most premium shells are like 4,400 or something like that. The APCR shell, which is standard for this tank, oh, what does it have? It has 240 millimeters of 230 millimeters of 230 millimeters of pen, 240 alpha damage. It costs what? 200 credits? 230 something credits for a 240 alpha damage shell, which is ridiculous. Now let me confirm that quickly. 255 credits for a single Patriot or Super Pershing shell. Like, the amount that matters when you consider that every shell is, that you fire is like 1,000 credits with the other tanks. Like, in that game, I made 202,000. I got a 70,000 bonus for a mission, but god damn, it's just insane for 2.6. Also, Ian, can I just want to bring up quickly, for the sake of education, you know how I said most premium shells are around 4,000? Like the, let's take an example. Let's get the Scorpion G up quickly. Scorpion G has 490 alpha damage, 128mm gun. Standard shell cost 1,070. Premium shell 4,800. Right, it's a rather expensive premium shell, but it should be. It has 490 alpha damage, right? Then let's jump over here and look at the T92, an American light tank with 150 alpha damage, right? And its standard shell is 270. That's an APCR shell. So you'd think, oh, this will be a great money maker. That's a really cheap shell, but its alpha damage is a little less. Let's just quickly switch it to premium. 5,600 per shell for 150 damage. What? Are you insane? Like, that is madness. Like, the economy of that tank just went in the toilet. What the actual hell? I don't know, Ian, please pick a tank if you so desire. I'm just, like, fucking wow.
Now I load a list, Steve.
Oh, yes, please do. Enjoyable tanks too?
Enjoyable tanks too. Roger that, my friend. On the way.
Nice. Okay, right. But Blast seems fair. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Like, the Blast